In the latest installment of the Be Like Mike series, we're going to be talking about a player that reached the highest of highs, hit some crazy lows, and yet still was able to rise again. We're talking about none other than Grant Hill. Let's talk about it. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Skinny Hardaway, and this is Retro Heat Check. Checking in one more time for the real hoop heads out there. And thanks again for you guys, for your likes, your shares, your comments, subscriptions, and of course, those questions. Continue to bring those questions in. You guys have been coming with the fire these last few weeks. Definitely, you guys have stepped up when I asked. Hey, that's all I asked for you guys to do, just come with some fire. And you guys definitely provided that. Each and every Wednesday Q&A with Skinny, definitely been fire. Definitely been enjoyable. Some of the best content that I put out in the last few weeks. So definitely enjoying that. You guys keep bringing it, man. You guys keep bringing that fire. So definitely respect to you guys. You already know what it is, man. Gotta give props to the squad. You already know what it is. It's time to give our shout outs to the squad. You already know these are my guys. I stand 10 toes in the paint with these fellas. We come from all different angles, different perspectives, different approaches. But hey, we are always armed with the truth. Sometimes we even have debates among ourselves and disagreements, but at the end of the day, we're all on the same side. We want real hoops to return. We have a respect for the past, and we definitely don't ever want to forget the past. And we always want to give props to those players that have built this great league, built this great game up. For us to enjoy today. So definitely give these guys a shout. If you guys aren't hip, check them out. Give them a chance. Tell them Skinny sent you. But without further ado, got to give shout out to my fellas. Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncommon Sense, Scap Attack, Too Raw for Sports TV, Uncut Hoops, Angry Old Hoops, my twin, Phenomenal Fitness. What up, bro? Michael Jordan fans are the best. NNB Sports TV, Geechee Life Sports Talk, Print Sports, Kobe Bryant Film Room, Man Down Sports, Ticket TV, Dreamers Pro TV, Jordan versus LeBron, Shekel Storm NBA, The Real Mind Crime, The Allen Ricks TV, NBA Facts, Self Research. These are the guys that I mess with. These are the guys that I respect. They support me. I support them. I hope that you do the same. So check them out, man. These guys, like I said, they're armed with the facts. They're armed with the truth. And every week we kick narratives in the ass, man. So check these guys out. Tell them Skinny sent you. You already know. And hey, man, it must be a great day out here for the hoop heads in the hoop head haven. I think YouTube is going to show us a little bit of love, because today we're going to open up them doors and welcome on in the latest member of the Hoop Head Haven. You already know what it is, man. The Hoop Head Haven global community of like-minded individuals that have a desire for old school basketball, for the game itself, and we definitely have a respect for the past, and particularly the 90s, the greatest era in NBA history, if I have to say so. But you already know what it is, man. Whatever era of basketball that you're in tune with and aligned with, all is welcome into the Hoophead Haven as long as you have a love for the game. The only thing I ask for, you see a little fanboy in there talking trash, check them. Let them know exactly where they at. They are nameless. They are faceless. They are nobody here. So you can do whatever you want. You have my permission, within the guidelines, of course. But you already know what it is. And without further ado, let's welcome in our latest hoop head. You already know, man. Let's welcome in Curtis2977. Hey, Curtis, welcome on into the Hoop Head Haven. Hey, kick back, relax, hop in a debate. Hey, come through with a comment or a question. We talk old school basketball. We talk new school basketball. We talk sneakers. We talk top tens. We talk top fives. We have our debates. We have our questions. Hey, it's all a good time here in the Hoophead Haven. It's a community, man. Hey, it's a cool, chill community. It's a small channel with a small community, but each member is valued like as if I had a million. You know, each of these guys, including yourself, Curtis, are welcome to you know, contribute to the channel. This is your channel just as much as mine. So definitely welcome Curtis to the Hoophead Haven, and to all my hoop heads. Y'all show him some love. Welcome him in. Hey, run him up, my guy. You already know. But let's get down to the meat and potatoes of it all. You already know what it is, man. The latest installment of the Be Like Mike series. You already know what it is, man. These 6 individuals for these next 2 weeks, we're going to be highlighting these guys that were dubbed out of many the next Michael Jordan. But I think that these 6, to me, personified, you know, the different. I think that these guys personified in many ways, you know, the next Michael Jordan, as far as the storytelling, as far as the progression of the league, as you know what I'm saying, just overall in general. Definitely wanted to tell these stories and kick and just basically kick it from my perspective. And for today's episode, we are talking about Grant Hill. In my opinion, I think he is one of the best small forwards in NBA history, and definitely during the 90s. And I know that some of y'all are going to be upset with this, but check it out. During the 90s, when you were talking small forward position, it wasn't Scottie Pippen that people were thinking of. It was Grant Hill. Grant Hill was the preeminent small forward of the 90s before the injuries took, you know, his ankle, you know what I'm saying, injuries started to creep up on him late into the 90s going into 2000s. But yeah, definitely when he was healthy, oh yeah, Grant Hill was something special. He was definitely something special. He also has the distinction of being the only Dookie, along with Kyrie Irving, that I actually like. Grant Hill, I believe, is the Duke Blue Devil GOAT. I mean, he definitely personifies determination, grit, you know, a never say die attitude. Because, I mean, he's gone from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows and back again. This is a guy who definitely has always had my respect and admiration. That's Grant Hill. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, man. Let's do just the bare minimum. Not bare minimum. Let's do the bare basics. I'm sorry, bare basics. My man is from the state of Virginia. You already know what it is, man. Virginia, you know, the DC. He's from the DMV, South Lakes High, where he was a McDonald's All-American. He was a third team parade All-American. And if you were a kid growing up, you know what I'm saying, especially coming up in the late 80s, in the 90s, and you were a high school hooper, you wanted to make that parade. You wanted to make that parade All-American team. That was definitely a highlight and a prestigious honor back then. I don't know if they still do it or not. If they do, it's very low key because I don't really hear Parade All American too much anymore. But definitely Grant Hill was third team. He was also Virginia's Mr. Basketball in 1990. Going in, you know, leaving a prolific career at South Lakes High. Bounced down to Durham, North Carolina, as the newest member of the Duke basketball team in the 1990 season, where he was a freshman. Basically, he had flashes of his game. You know what I'm saying? Show flashes here and there, but for the most part, he had to wait his turn. He had to bide his time. He got his little bit of minutes here and there, but you know what I'm saying? He was still growing within the game. Still had some veterans ahead of him, but pretty soon, Grant Hill was going to let the world know who he was, and that started his sophomore year. Sophomore year, he was second team All ACC. Uh, he was he was second team All ACC, grinding it out. You know what I'm saying? I think he averaged about 11 points a game, something like that. He was down there working with, he was kind of overshadowed by players like Bobby Hurley and Christian Laettner. You know what I'm saying? Who was probably getting all the pubs. So Grant Hill was kind of like the third wheel during those years. You know what I'm saying? But he kept improving. So by his junior year, he was he was basically first team All ACC. He was a second team All American, consensus second team All American. He was also also the National Defensive Player of the Year. He had won an NCAA championship. I mean, the dude was just really, really coming to his own. And then by his junior year, he was first team All ACC. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, first team All ACC. He was a first team All American. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was doing it all. I mean, his senior year. I'm so sorry. Senior year. Senior year, he was All ACC, All American first team. He was ACC Player of the Year. He was, he had another, he had another NCAA championship his junior year. I mean, this dude was really between his junior and senior year. I mean, he was really killing it. And by the time he left out of Duke, you know what I'm saying, he didn't get the three-peat that Duke was gunning for. A lot of people thought that Duke was going to three-peat. Didn't happen. But Grant Hill did leave out of Duke as one of the more prolific scorers in the league. He was definitely one of the best players that I've ever seen play college basketball. Like I said, he walked out of there as the GOAT of Duke University. His number 33 jersey is hanging in the rafters. I mean, like I said, he's the best to ever do it in a Duke uniform, if you ask me. After the 94 season, his senior year, and he was also a rare 4-year player in an era where players were, you know what I'm saying, usually out of there by the time they were juniors. They was usually out of there by the time by the time their junior season came around. But Grant Hill stuck it out all 4 years, surprisingly, each and every year. He just got better and better and better. Every year you saw Grant Hill just becoming more and more of a monster. And that parlayed him to the third pick in the 1994 draft to the Detroit Pistons. Only Glenn Big Dog Robinson, who was the first pick to the Milwaukee Bucks, and Jason Kidd, the second pick to the Dallas Mavericks, were ahead of him. A pretty strong class as far as that rookie class was. It was pretty strong, pretty decent. But those three were definitely the main headliners of the '94 draft. They were definitely, I think, in my opinion, I think that they were, three of the. I would have to say, as far as if you give me a first pick, second pick, and third pick, I mean, you couldn't go wrong. Those three right there were bona fide from day one. I mean, it was definitely a breath of fresh air seeing these guys. But I thought that Grant Hill was definitely the showstopper of that class. I mean, he was just a monster. He was just a monster. His time at his time in the NBA, he was a 7-time All-Star. He was all NBA first team, 97. He was a 4-time NBA second team. He was co-rookie of the year with Jason Kidd. He and Jason Kidd shared the award in 95. He was all rookie first team. He's a 3-time NBA sportsmanship award winner. In 2014, he reached the highest heights with the Basketball Hall of Famer. And can't forget about the gold medal that he won in Atlanta in 1996 as a member of Dream Team 2. So Grant Hill definitely accomplished, but most of his accomplishments was definitely, I would have to say, the best years of his were his Detroit Pistons years. I mean, that was Grant Hill at his athletic best. I think that his game was just nasty. He was like I said, he was the preeminent small forward of the 90s, not Scottie Pippen. A lot of people think that it was Scottie Pippen, but no, it was actually Grant Hill. Grant Hill was the best small forward in the NBA in the 90s. He had a silky smooth jump shot, could jump out the gym, you couldn't guard him. He was he was definitely great on the defensive end of the floor. He was a true all around player. Definitely one of the more popular players. So you could see why, coming into the league, he had that moniker of the next Michael Jordan, because he had it all. He had a complete game. But unlike Michael Jordan, Grant Hill was probably a Madison Avenue dream. He was, the ladies thought he was very handsome. I have to say, personally, hey, when I was in middle school, there was a girl who I had a crush on, really bad when I was in when I was in 8th grade. But she had a bigger crush on Grant Hill. So for a little bit, I was kind of hating on Grant Hill from inside my head when I was younger. So full disclosure. But like I said, the ladies thought he was cool. The ladies thought he was handsome. The fellas thought he was cool. They loved his game. He had that appealing game that marketers, the people just, they just vibed with. They were drawn to. Grant Hill definitely had uh, the endorsements flying in particular, most notably with Fila, with the Grant Hill line from his rookie year on. I had to say the Grant Hill Filas, the greatest Filas ever. If you had the poll, I would have to say the number one. I'd say the top three Filas of all time is the Grant Hill 1, 2, and 3. I mean, that's just what I feel as far as his sneakers. They definitely were impact. Everybody, I don't know if you guys know about the famous picture of Tupac shortly before he passed, rocking the Grant Hill 2s. I mean, Grant Hill definitely was a staple within pop culture, within the NBA. I mean, he definitely had a lot of the qualities that a lot of people compared him to Jordan with, both on and off the floor. I mean, Grant Hill, he really couldn't do no wrong. The only thing that he couldn't do is that he couldn't bring his team to win. Um, but it wasn't for lack of trying. I mean, Grant Hill definitely would give you his all, give you 30, no problem. Go all out, no problem. Play hurt, do all that stuff. But he just, his starting teammates, as well as the rest of the supporting cast off the bench. Overall, the roster was just okay. But you know what I'm saying, it was pretty much, it was Grant Hill pulling the load, and unfortunately, that kind of led to injuries. Um, with Grant Hill late into the later years of the 90s. Excuse me. And yeah, it was definitely he would get hurt, miss some time, come back, get hurt again, come back, but he was still an elite player, still a very popular player, still at the top of NBA All-Star ballots. He even beat out Michael Jordan. He beat out Michael Jordan one year for the top spot as far as NBA vote getters. Grant Hill was definitely a popular guy, and his game spoke for itself. You know what I'm saying? He would dunk on you. You know what I'm saying, hit that fadeaway. He hit the fadeaway on you. He had the up and unders. I mean, there wasn't any place on the floor that he couldn't score. Career-wise, he was a 16.7 point per game scorer, 6 boards, 4 assists in his career. Man, I mean, it was an expansive career, lasted through 4 franchises. Detroit from 1994 to 2000. Basically, like I said, those were his best years. Grant Hill, like I said, was on top of the world. He was a top 5 player. As far as as far as popularity and game, Grant Hill was that good. You can make an argument he was top 5, top 10 player in the league, easy. Like I said, he was the small forward of the '90s. If you ask me, there was no other small forward outside of Scottie Pippen that even could get with Grant Hill. I think that Grant Hill was the better version of Scottie Pippen. Grant Hill is the version. Grant Hill is the version of player that Scottie Pippen is out here capping, saying that he was, and compared to Michael Jordan. That was Grant Hill. Grant Hill was the one who was scoring. He'll give you 30, no problem. He was the one who, block your shot, get a few steals, do his thing on the boards. Hit the clutch shot, get the dunk that would either ignite the crowd, ignite the team, or it shut everybody down, shut everybody up. Grant Hill was definitely one of those type of players, man. Definitely. He ended up moving on. Free agency, the year 2000, he was starting to bump heads with the Detroit, basically the front office, with the injuries and stuff, and he wasn't in the best space with Coach Doug Collins, who incidentally was Michael Jordan's coach when he was younger. And he was one of the guys who said that Grant Hill had a lot of MJ in him. Pause. That he eventually he and Doug Collins just weren't on the same page anymore, and Grant Hill thought that it was time for him to leave the Detroit franchise. I mean, so many teams wanted him in the league, but there was always that one squad that basically was ready to pay top dollar, and that was Orlando. He was there, signed at the same summer as Tracy McGrady, and they were this close to becoming a big three if Tim Duncan hadn't changed his mind and went back to San Antonio, because he was pretty much on his way to becoming signed, sealed, and delivered for Orlando. But if it weren't for a last second change of heart, who knows what the Orlando franchise could have become. I mean, they could have probably even surpassed the Shaq and Penny years with those three, definitely. But unfortunately for Grant Hill, throughout his 7 years with Orlando, man, it was very up and down, very injury riddled. Lots of he made the All-Star team in 2000, although he was injured. Still made the All-Star team. He was still one of the more popular players in the league. A lot of people thought that going to Orlando would be a fresh start for Grant, but it just seemed like just setback after setback with that ankle, and it all culminated with a MRSA infection during one of the many ankle surgeries that he went through in 2003. Got a real bad MRSA staph infection, and I mean, it was to the point where people thought that he was going to die. It had gotten that bad. After many prayers and rehab and medicine, all that, Grant Hill was able to have a healthy bill of ability recovery, was able to move on in 2007, moved on to Phoenix, was able to salvage his career, putting up solid numbers, running alongside Steve Nash and Shawn Marion and Amar'e Stoudemire, all those guys. He was definitely a key piece, although he wasn't the same superstar that he once was in Detroit. Um, he was very solid, but he would sometimes give you games and sometimes give you plays and flashes of that old Detroit Grant Hill. And I definitely believe that Grant Hill uh, um, definitely made the best of his rebirth that he had in Phoenix. I mean, he was able to play relatively healthy. Um, you know, running up and down with, like I said, with Steve Nash and the guys. Quietly would put up solid numbers. Quietly, just add value to the team. Um, Next thing you know, I mean, you're looking at Grant Hill and you're just like, wow, he's pretty much back. And it was definitely it was a blessing to see. This is a blessing to see where he had came from, and to where he was at the time. Um, I mean, he was able to finish out his career, his last season with the LA Clippers. You know, he was just basically just finishing out, just doing his tour of duty. But throughout that year, whenever his number was called, he went in there. He tried to give you as much as he could with the minutes that was given him. So definitely had a great career. As far as the Michael Jordan comparisons, they were there, but they quickly went away. During those first few years of Detroit, because it seemed like he was just growing into his own player, and basically the name Grant Hill kind of stood on his own, and it kind of the Jordan comparisons kind of started to fade away pretty fast. And especially, by the time he got to Orlando, dealing with all the injuries and stuff, being the next Michael Jordan was the furthest thing that the media was thinking about him. No disrespect, but I think that his basically the Jordan tag, it never really defied Grant Hill. Grant Hill was able to accept it. He was able to graciously state that he wanted to be his own man, and he went out on the court and he showed it. So that's the only thing that you can do is to respect that. Grant Hill definitely was able to salvage his career, turn it into a Hall of Fame worthy career. Because I definitely thought he deserved Hall of Fame consideration because of the impact that he had in the '90s. You can't tell the story of the '90s without Grant Hill, and that's how I feel. That's one of the requirements for the Hall of Fame. I feel that if the league can't tell its story without you, then that means I feel that you are on that level. And Grant Hill, although he took the long way, the hard way, he ended up reaching basketball immortality in 2014. And it definitely was a sight to behold. It was great to see him, be accepted. I'm not gonna lie, he married Tamia, who was probably one of my crushes back in high school. That was one of my high school crushes. And when Grant Hill got with her, I was like, man, this dude, he can't miss, man. He's snatching all the chicks that I was digging at the time. So, damn you, Grant Hill. Not swaying, but definitely he was he hey, he was able to rise. That's why I kind of think that it was fitting that he was able to salvage his career in Phoenix, because that's what I feel that Grant Hill was. I definitely felt that he was the Phoenix rising from the ashes, especially coming from almost dying on the operating table. So definitely big kudos to you. Big kudos to you, Grant. Now he's the co-owner of the Atlanta Hawks, part owner of the Orlando City SC for the MLS, the Orlando Pride, and the Baltimore Orioles. And he's now a commentator for TNT Sports. This guy is hey, I mean, he's very multi-talented, very multifaceted, and he's getting to the bread. So, in a lot of ways, he ended up becoming actually Jordan S, especially on the business side of the game. So Grant Hill definitely one of the greatest players in NBA history, and one of the few players that actually succeeded despite being dubbed the next Michael Jordan. So with that being said, it's your boy, Skinny Hardaway. It's Tuesday. You already know what it is, man. We're getting through the week. Tomorrow's hump day. Tomorrow's Q&A day. You already know what it is. I want you guys to be responsible, be respectful, love on them babies, love on your family members, love on your loved ones. Tomorrow's not promised. You already know what it is. Clear head, good intentions in your heart. You can go anywhere. You can go far in this world. Hey man, be good, be responsible, be respectful. Don't do anything stupid. Cam, stay out of trouble. We'll reconvene tomorrow. And as you already know, it's your boy, Skinny Hardaway. And this is another episode of Retro Heat Check in the books. And with that, I leave you with these words. Peace. And wear your sneakers. Oh, and check out this outro.